Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw, and I'm here at Virtuoso Travel Week in Las Vegas. And I'm here with a familiar face if you've been watching us over the past year or so. It's Daniel Hostetler, except Daniel's now in a new position now. He's now CEO of the Boca Raton Resort and Club. And he's going to tell you all about it because it's a major restoration and complete renovation project that he's in charge of now. And we're going to find out about all that and more on Insider Travel Report. Well, Daniel, first of all, it's great to see you again.
In a
new role. I see you've acquired your Florida jacket.
My Florida jacket, my first one. You're right.
That's it. So you're going a little more. But Daniel was formerly with Ocean House, and he had expanded that and was overseeing lots of properties in New England. And now, this year, he moved to Boca Raton. So tell me a little bit about what interested you in this particular project and why you made the move.
Well, I think the whole scope of the project, this was such an iconic property for decades and decades, and in the last sort of 10 years, it was probably a little less iconic. And when the Dell company, MSD, stepped in to purchase the resort and oversee a multi-year, hundreds of millions of dollar renovation, it just seemed like the perfect capstone to my career to go try and do what we've done at smaller hotels with such a large property.
No, and it sounds like you're ready. I have been to the Boca Raton Resort years ago. It was, need a little bit of refurb, I think. So this is your you're going to give it a little love.
We're going to give it a lot of love. Okay. Yes, absolutely.
Now the other thing is you have a sort of theme. It's kind of around a new golden era for the resort. Who came up with that and the idea for the transformation?
Well, I think that our marketing team came up with the new golden era because we had heard from so many guests exactly what you just said, that in its day, it was on everyone's bucket list. It was the height of sophistication and the height of elegance, and we really wanted to go back to that period of time. And when I was hired, the dictate from ownership was really that in 2026, the property will be 100 years old, and that by 2026, we want to be thought of as, one of the top resorts in America once again, as we were, probably in the 40s and 50s.
Well, it is one of those iconic resorts. You said it's going to be almost 100 years old. You said in 2026.
2026, yeah.
Right. So yeah, and so it really has gone through all the different. It's one of those classic Florida coastal resorts, and it's just we know a lot of them. And the idea is to get it back to what it was and maybe more.
Yeah, really reposition it as a leisure hotel. I think in the last 10, 15 years, it was very much a convention hotel. And one of the first things we did was knock down the 5-acre convention center to build a 5-acre outdoor pool club, which has 3 swimming pools and a lazy river and surfing instruction and 48 cabanas and 800 lounge chairs, and really opens that entire side of the property up to the water, addition of water sports, and really look to reposition the resort to what it was in its heyday, which was a leisure resort that did some corporate groups as well, and we still have corporate groups that we will be doing, but it won't be the 800-room convention groups anymore, because I think even pre-COVID, people didn't really want to go to these 800-room convention hotels unless you're here in Las Vegas.
Unless you're here at Bellagio and all the other ones, because that's their business, and and here we are at a conference.
Right, exactly.
It's actually kind of nice. But
yes, absolutely.
Now, how many rooms is it total?
So we have 1,000 rooms, but it's across 5 lodging segments. So our real massive change over and above all the renovation is really, it was always run as sort of 200 rooms on the beach at our beach property, and then across Lake Boca, another 800 rooms under one general manager. We now have 5 general managers, each one in charge of a lodging product, and each lodging product distinctly different. So if you want something that's young and hip and more of that Miami vibe, you're going to go to stay at the Beach Club, where we've got that vibe once we're done renovating. Our historic 26-story tower, which is the tallest tower in all of the Palm Beach County, is being completely gutted and renovated into a very luxury, I would call that a sort of a Four Seasons standard of product. Butler on every floor, very high touch. The Yacht Club, which is right on the harbor and only has 110 rooms, we want that to be a 5-star adults only property, so that's where you go if you want to leave the children at home. And then, of course, we have the historic Cloister, which is the core 350 rooms, which will be more of the sort of lead-in product and the conference product. And then our bungalows, which were sort of a well-kept secret, are behind their own set of gates within the resort on the golf course. Those are being renovated to 62-bedroom residential-style suites, complete with kitchens and laundry facilities and dining rooms and living rooms, 1,700 square feet. Because we were getting people that wanted to come to Florida for a week or a month or 2 months and they don't want to own their own home. And so this is a great opportunity to live in something that's a little more residential with, of course, all the services of a hotel. And so we've got that product. But the idea is, regardless of what product you stay in, you'll have 11 new restaurants, 350 acres of resort living, golf, tennis, all of these wonderful world-class activities, but positioning each of the products towards a competitive set and towards the appropriate guest, and working with our travel partners, putting the right people in the right properties.
Well, absolutely. It sounds like you can get a large cross-section of guests, different types. It's like, I would say, who's your target guest, but you got a lot of targets, right?
We do, yeah. And multi-generational as well, right? It might be that we are the tower clientele, but our older children are staying at the beach club because they want to be at the hip place, but then we all get together to go to dinner in the evening or to hang out by the pool. So the idea is lots of different offerings for lots of different clienteles, and then individual business units with a GM in charge of each to make sure we get that service level the way we would like it to be.
Yeah, and therefore you have to be the CEO because you got all the general managers working for you. That's great.
Exactly right. Right. So we're running it sort of like we did the Ocean House Company, individual properties, individual GMs, and but one sort of touch point across all of the properties, which is that level of 5-star service that we want to bring back to the property.
No, that's fantastic. Now, you mentioned the knocking down the convention center area and getting more lazy river and stuff. Was that the first phase of the renovation, or what are the phases right now?
That is, we're in phase 1, which completes in mid-January. Most of it completes mid-December. To mid-January. That's about $175 million. Phase 2 is already programmed for this time next year. So after we get through high season, we will do all of the rooms at the beach club because we've renovated the public space, but we want to get to those rooms and add another restaurant over there. And then we're already looking at phase 3, which is the year after, where we're looking at golf course renovations and additional recreational activities. So it's a multi-year plan, but the bulk of it, the core, we used this COVID time period to really to knock out everything we could in the most core guest center areas.
Now the first phase, I think, because 175 million or what?
It is, yep. It might stretch to 200 million by the time we're done.
So you kind of, I don't know if they've given you a budget or you're just whatever.
Well, we have a budget, but we also want to do it right. This is a signature asset for MSD and really I think for Florida. And as you said, it was an iconic property, and the goal is to return it to that iconic status.
Well, actually, the best question is, what do you think this is going to do for the whole community of Boca Raton?
I hope it's going to do a lot. I think that especially for our European guests, people think of Florida, they think of Miami and Palm Beach, and Boca's maybe not on the radar, and yet Boca is ideally situated. It's family friendly. It's got a much younger demographic than it had pre-COVID, for sure, with a lot of younger people moving into the area, and yet you're 30 minutes from Palm Beach, you're 45 minutes from Miami, you're 30 minutes from Fort Lauderdale, so it is a great base on what we call the Southern Riviera of Florida to go see all of Southern Florida.
No, that's great, and it sounds like it's going to really come together. Now, how does this project compare to what you did at Ocean House?
Well, it's about 15 times the size of what we were doing at the Ocean House, but I think it's a very unique challenge to try and bring those 15-star service levels that we provided to the guests at the Ocean House companies to a property as large as this. And you do it by dividing it into manageable chunks and hiring great GMs and great leaders under those GMs and really treating it as individual hotels on one campus. No,
and it sounds like it is a huge project, but and it's going to be several years before it's totally complete. What do you envision? When will the whole thing be done?
End of 2023.
Okay, so it'll be well in time for 2026.
Absolutely.
Right?
That's right. Then it's all on us, because after hundreds of millions of dollars of investment, the only thing that's going to get that to, golden era status is the team on the ground making sure we take care of the guests the way that we want them to be taken care of.
Absolutely. Now, for our travel advisors out there, what kind of programs do you have, and what are you doing with them?
Full commissions. Each property is a Virtuoso property. Each property is now a American Express FHR property as well. So we need our travel partners' help. As I said earlier, this property was a highly convention focused for the last 10 years, and so we need to get the word out to our travel partners that we are now going to be highly leisure focused and really need their help getting that word out to their clients as well.
Well, hopefully this will help a little bit.
Absolutely.
Okay. Anything else you want to say to our travel advisors out there?
No, I hope you'll reach out to us and come see the property in January. It's going to be stunning.
And where can they get more information about the Boca Raton?
We have a great new website, thebocaraton.com. Nice and simple to remember. We've dropped the resort and club name and just said the Boca Raton because that's what it was called in the golden era of its travel.
It was the one.
It was the only one, so we're going back to that moniker.
Well, Daniel, first of all, congratulations on this new role, this new post. Sounds like you got a lot of work ahead, but it sounds like you're going to enjoy it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.